Our planet, a beacon of life, is facing a grave threat: pollution. This menace is not confined to one region or country. It is a global crisis that affects every corner of the Earth. From bustling metropolises to remote villages, no place is immune to the creeping tendrils of pollution. From the air we breathe to the water we drink, pollution knows no boundaries. It infiltrates our homes, our workplaces, and even the most pristine natural environments. The very elements that sustain life are being tainted by human activity. It's a silent killer, slowly poisoning our world and jeopardizing the health of all living creatures. The impact on wildlife is devastating, with countless species facing extinction due to habitat destruction and toxic environments. Industrial activities, rampant consumerism, and a disregard for the environment have created a toxic cocktail that's contaminating our ecosystems. The relentless pursuit of economic growth has led to the exploitation of natural resources, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Rivers run black with industrial waste, turning once vibrant waterways into lifeless channels of poison. Aquatic life struggles to survive in these harsh conditions, and communities that rely on these rivers for sustenance are left in peril. Skies are choked with smog, obscuring the sun and creating a perpetual haze. The air quality in many cities has reached hazardous levels, causing respiratory problems and other health issues for millions of people. And land is scarred with the remnants of our unsustainable practices. Vast areas of forest have been cleared, leaving barren landscapes that can no longer support life. Landfills overflow with waste, a testament to our throwaway culture. Human health is at risk, biodiversity is plummeting, and the delicate balance of our ecosystems is being disrupted. Endangered species are pushed closer to extinction, and the natural world is losing its ability to regenerate, and climate change is accelerating. The melting of glaciers, the increase in extreme weather events, and the shrinking of ice caps are all signs that our planet is undergoing rapid and dangerous changes. We're facing a global crisis that demands immediate attention. Activists around the world are raising their voices, calling for urgent action to combat this environmental catastrophe. In this series, we will journey to some of the most polluted places on Earth, bearing witness to the devastating consequences of our actions. We will explore the impact on local communities, the environment, and the global ecosystem. Bearing witness to the devastating consequences of our actions, we will uncover the stories of those who are most affected by pollution. Their struggles and resilience will shed light on the human cost of environmental degradation. And exploring the stories of resilience and hope that emerge from these environmental tragedies. We will highlight the efforts of individuals and communities who are fighting back, implementing innovative solutions, and working tirelessly to restore the health of our planet. Indonesia's Citarum River, once a source of life and beauty, was a vital artery for the communities living along its banks. It provided not just water, but also food, transportation, and a means of livelihood for countless families. Now, it bears the grim title of the most polluted river in the world. The transformation is nothing short of tragic. What was once a thriving ecosystem teeming with life is now a 200-mile stretch of floating garbage. The river's surface is choked with plastic waste, discarded household items, and industrial debris. The river's demise is a direct result of unchecked industrial activity. Factories, particularly those in the textile industry, have been discharging waste into the river for decades. Textile factories lining its banks discharge a toxic cocktail of dyes, chemicals, and heavy metals directly into the water. These pollutants not only discolor the water but also poison the aquatic life and make the water unsafe for human use. Add to this the untreated sewage from millions of people living in the basin, and the result is a catastrophic environmental disaster. The river has become a dumping ground for human waste, further exacerbating the pollution levels. The impact on the surrounding communities is devastating. People who once relied on the river for their daily needs now face severe health risks. The river, once a source of food and water, is now a breeding ground for disease. Waterborne illnesses are rampant and the local healthcare systems are overwhelmed. Fish are dying, crops are failing, and the health of millions is at risk. The once fertile lands are now barren, and the river that was once a lifeline has turned into a symbol of environmental neglect and human suffering. In the heart of Accra, Ghana, lies Agbogbloshe, the world's largest e-waste dump. Here, mountains of discarded electronics from around the globe pile up, creating a dystopian landscape. Driven by the relentless march of technological advancement, developed nations ship their electronic waste to developing countries like Ghana, where it's often processed with little regard for human health or the environment. Workers, many of them children, scavenge through the toxic waste, extracting valuable metals using crude and dangerous methods. The air is thick with toxic fumes released from burning plastic and circuit boards, poisoning the air, water, and soil. Norilsk, a remote city in northern Russia, stands as a chilling testament to the devastating consequences of unchecked industrial pollution. This city, isolated in the Arctic Circle, is a stark example of how industrial activities can ravage the environment and human health. Home to the world's largest heavy metal smelting complex, Norilsk's economy is heavily reliant on the extraction and processing of nickel, copper, and palladium. Norilsk is a place where the air stings your nostrils, filled with sulfur dioxide and other harmful gases, and the snow is stained black with soot. The pollution is so severe that it affects the very color of the landscape. The city's nickel mines and smelters release a toxic cocktail of heavy metals, sulfur dioxide, and other pollutants into the environment. These pollutants not only contaminate the air but also seep into the soil and water, creating a hazardous living condition for the residents. The result is an ecological catastrophe. The once pristine Arctic environment has been transformed into a wasteland, with little to no vegetation able to survive the toxic conditions. The air quality is among the worst in the world, with smog often blanketing the city and reducing visibility. The surrounding tundra is barren for miles, devoid of the flora and fauna that once thrived there. An acid rain has poisoned the soil and water. This acid rain, a byproduct of the sulfur dioxide emissions, has far-reaching effects, damaging ecosystems and making agriculture nearly impossible. Life expectancy in Norilsk is significantly lower than the Russian average, with residents suffering from a range of health issues, including respiratory diseases and cancers. A grim reminder of the human cost of environmental negligence. The story of Norilsk serves as a powerful warning of what can happen when industrial progress is prioritized over environmental and public health. Section 5. The High Cost of Pollution. The stories of the Sitaram River, Agbog-Bloshi, and Norilsk are not isolated incidents. They are stark reminders of the high cost of pollution and the interconnectedness of our planet's ecosystems. Pollution knows no boundaries. Toxic chemicals released into the environment can travel thousands of miles through the air and water, impacting communities far removed from the source of the pollution. The consequences are dire. Pollution is linked to a wide range of health problems, including respiratory diseases, cancer, and birth defects. It's decimating wildlife populations, driving species to extinction, and disrupting delicate ecosystems. Section 6. Seeds of Hope, Stories of Resilience. Despite the grim realities, glimmers of hope emerge from these polluted landscapes. In the face of adversity, communities are coming together to reclaim their environment and build a more sustainable future. Along the Sitaram River, local communities are working tirelessly to clean up the waterway. They're organizing river cleanups, advocating for stricter environmental regulations, and raising awareness about the importance of responsible waste management. In Agbog-Bloshi, initiatives are underway to promote safer e-waste recycling practices. Organizations are providing training and resources to help workers transition to less hazardous jobs, and efforts are being made to hold electronic manufacturers accountable for their waste. Section 7. A global call for action. The fight against pollution is a global challenge that requires a coordinated global response. We must move beyond national interests and embrace a shared responsibility for the health of our planet. International cooperation is essential to develop and enforce stricter environmental regulations, promote sustainable technologies, and hold polluters accountable for their actions. We need a paradigm shift in how we produce, consume, and dispose of goods, transitioning from a linear to a circular economy that minimizes waste and pollution. Section 8. Sustainable Practices, A Path to a Cleaner Future. The path to a cleaner, healthier future lies in embracing sustainable practices. We must reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, invest in renewable energy sources, and adopt cleaner production methods. We need to rethink our consumption patterns, embracing a more minimalist lifestyle and prioritizing quality over quantity. By making conscious choices about the products we buy and how we dispose of them, we can all contribute to a more sustainable future. Section 9. Our shared responsibility. The fight against pollution is not just the responsibility of governments and corporations, it's a responsibility we all share. Every individual has a role to play in protecting our planet for future generations. By reducing our environmental footprint, supporting sustainable businesses, and advocating for change, we can all be part of the solution. We must remember that we are all interconnected, and the choices we make today will determine the fate of our planet for generations to come. Let us choose wisely, for the sake of our health, the health of our planet, and the future of all life on Earth.